back to the channel at Pro Enzo Vids, and this is my official 2022 Rugby League World Cup preview and my tips for and predictions for the whole sort of weekend ahead. And yeah, no, look, I'm looking forward to the World Cup. Obviously, it's been the first time that it's been brought back since COVID. That prevented it the first time. So yeah, it's been a couple of years since we've had the last World Cup, but yeah, we're back now, and looking forward to it. You know, it's obviously great to see all the nations come against each other, play against each other, etc. And yeah, it's always something that I think any footy fan should enjoy. You know, because I feel like if you don't enjoy the World Cup, then you know that's a bit slack and sad in my opinion. So you go and enjoy the World Cup. It's when the nations come together, different players and different sort of backgrounds, or come together and play against each other. It's a good sort of thing, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's a great initiative that's been going around for many years now. So really, I'm looking forward to seeing all the nations come against each other. You know, 16 nations and one winner. So we'll see who comes away with the prize in the end. But before I go any further, just make sure to make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're a new viewer watching the channel, then yeah, be sure to check me out more and subscribe, because you know the goal for me is to get to 2,350 subscribers by hopefully the end of this week, because that's been a goal I've been trying to aim for a while, and it's been taking a little bit of a while to sort of get there, but it's all good. But yeah, you know, obviously that is the goal for my channel. But yeah, if you're watching right now, I would hope you subscribe. But other than that, just sit back and enjoy my preview for the World Cup ahead. So I am going to go through each pool, and I'm going to give my ladder predictions and my predictions for pretty much the whole sort of thing. So the first sort of pool I'm going to go through is obviously Pool A. Here we go. So in Pool A, we've got England, France, Greece, Samoa. So that's the first pool right there. I think it's a very interesting pool. I think that, you know, obviously the standout side from there is going to be England and Samoa, but I guess you can't underestimate both Greece and France, because I think both of them do have potential, but they're not any stronger than what England and Samoa are, I believe. So I do think with England having the advantage playing over there in England, obviously where their World Cup's been hosted, I do believe they do have a big chance of finishing at the top of the ladder in the pool. But in saying that, Samoa have a great squad as well. You know, Samoa have got a great amount of players playing from, yeah, you know, many clubs, and they've got a really talented team, so you can't write them off either. I will say that the least sort of threatening out of France and Greece would be Greece, in my opinion, as Greece, for me, just don't have the experience with the players, but they do have Ilias though and Mamzelos. But I just think France, you know, France for me have a bit more talent and a bit more, you know, knowledgeable or knowable players. So I think that I'd rank France above Greece, but I think this is a very good pool. My prediction for this pool will be first England, second Samoa, third France, and fourth Greece, in my opinion. Right, on to Pool B, and that is Australia, Fiji, Italy, and Scotland. So a very interesting sort of pool here. Now, I understand that probably Australia are the standout team amongst these other three nations here, but I do think that nations, I should say, like Fiji and Italy and Scotland can all be threatening in their day. They all have an NRL talent. Obviously, Italy probably, who I'm supporting, you know, throughout the World Cup, unfortunately don't have the most amount of experience, because obviously not this year. We don't have the usual Tedesco, Vaughan, you know, Weir, who's now retired, so we're obviously down a little bit. Ryan Madison too, so I guess the experience isn't all there, but we've got some talent. Scotland a bit the same. They've got Ewan Aiken, who's a bit of experience. He's been there before, and they've got some Super League players there as well. So I think with the Super League players, they've got a bit of a chance. Scotland, Fiji, obviously are very talented. Of course, they've got heaps of talent, heaps of rugby league talent. Everyone's judging them off that game against who was it, England, when they did play them in that warm-up match on the weekend. But look, it's a warm-up match, not everyone played. Everyone needs to get over it. But, you know, obviously in saying that, Australia are the benchmark, and Australia obviously probably a bit more stronger, has got a bit more talent, a bit more stars, I should say. But, you know, I think they're a chance, the other nations. But my ladder goes like this. So first Australia, second Fiji, third Italy, and fourth Scotland. That's how I'm going to go. Now, in Pool C, we've got Ireland, Jamaica, Lebanon, and New Zealand. So, while it looks obvious that New Zealand will come away with the whole sort of pool victory there and pretty much go the whole way and come on top of everything else, I do think there's potential Lebanon. I do think Lebanon are a team that can definitely come close to finishing first and leading the pool with New Zealand. You know, I think Lebanon has some great talent like Adam Dewey, Jacob Carraz, Khalid Rajab, who's a good young halfback from the Bulldogs, but had a good game in that that warm-up match against Wales. So there is talent amongst that side, I reckon, for Lebanon, and Mansour, Miski, Romanos. So it's a good team, and I think they are definitely within a chance of being the biggest threat to New Zealand. But New Zealand for me are probably going to come first, in my opinion. But we never know. But I think sides like Ireland and Jamaica, unfortunately, I like to see them surprised, but I don't think any of them are going to do much. Jamaica for me just don't have any recognisable stars, and I just don't think that they're going to go anywhere, to be honest. As for Ireland, might go okay, but I don't think Ireland are anything great as well with their team, but I see some talent amongst that squad though. But anyway, as for my ladder for the Pool C, I've got New Zealand first, second Lebanon, third Ireland, and fourth Jamaica right there. Right, on to the very last pool now, Pool D. It is Cook Islands, Papua New Guinea, Tonga, and Wales all taking on each other. So, this is a very interesting sort of pool because I think with Papua New Guinea and Tonga, they're the two nations that stand out to me because both of them are real footy sort of made clubs, and obviously both of them are very passionate about their nation. We see the big red sea turn up in numbers, as we saw earlier this year back in June when New Zealand played Tonga. The heaps of Tongan fans at Mount Smart, so they pretty much travel in groups everywhere. As for Papua New Guinea, well, they're very very big on footy over there in Papua New Guinea. They're a very big footy sort of fan base, and I have no doubt that they'll be supporting their talented team because I think Papua New Guinea are a real surprise team coming into this World Cup. But then you look at sides like Tonga and Wales and Cook Islands, and Wales to me, they were good a couple of years ago, but they sort of dropped off in terms of, I don't know, just not being as competitive as what they used to be. But there is some alright, decent players there. There's talent, but depends on how they really go, I suppose. But they're a bit unknown to me. Won't write them off though. And Cook Islands as well are a good team. Cook Islands have Kyle Iro, who's a great young rookie, debuted for the Sharks this year. I believe he'll be their fullback. Dylan Napa there, Tedavano. So it's a makeup of an alright team, I believe Cook Islands have. But I guess they lack a little bit of experience and stars as well, but they've got a decent team. They've got some NRL and Super League experience, I believe. So it will be interesting to see how this pool does pan out. But for me, my ladder is first Tonga, second Papua New Guinea, third Cook Islands, and fourth Wales. Yeah, so right there are my full predictions for each pool, from Pool A, Pool B, Pool C, Pool D. So that's what I think right there. Now onto the big one. So this is basically my grand final for the Rugby League World Cup for 2022. Very tough. I narrowed it down to really 4 teams. I narrowed it down to Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, and England. So I think Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, and England are teams I believe will come close to win the World Cup, and one of them out of them 4 I was thinking of will come and win the World Cup in my opinion. So look, it's a bit controversial, this one, as I don't have Australia in there. So my Rugby League World Cup grand final is going to be England versus New Zealand. So that's what I'm boldly predicting, as that's the World Cup grand final for this year. I picked England because I think England, are a bit depleted. I understand that. I know Johnny Lomax isn't there, and I know that they have lost a couple of players like Walmsley that is not there as well. So yeah, they lost a bit England, but they've still got Bateman, Williams, Dominic Young's will be a good prospect for them as well. In general, they've got a great team still, so I'm not going to write them off at all. I think they've still got a team that will go and do a lot of damage come, this World Cup ahead. So I think they'll get the advantage as well. Being the World Cup being hosted in England, I think it's going to be an advantage to all the Super League players, because no one's thinking of that. No one's taking into consideration that England are playing in England, and basically all the players that they have in that squad are all used to playing for used to playing in England since they played there for the Super League, etc. So I think that's where the advantage may come in, and they may do some damage, and that might help them. And the reason why I picked New Zealand is because I think New Zealand are very talented. They've got a very good team. I think of players like Zelezniak, Rapana, Hughes, Brown. You know, it's a very talented team, and Hargreaves and the Bromwich brothers. It's just a team that I believe is very talented and can go the whole way. And I love the addition of Willie Issa in there. I think Willie Issa is a great addition to that team. Obviously, he's been around for a very long time now, and I think him playing for New Zealand is a really good thing for him. So I think they, in general, have got a great squad, a very talented team, and a lot of good NRL players have got in there as well. So I think that experience may help them get to the big stage. And while Australia do have a lot of NRL experience as well as stars like New Zealand, I just think that New Zealand, for me, are going to come out and really prove a point in this World Cup, and I think they're going to do a lot of damage, and I think that they will verse England in the World Cup Grand Final. So that's my Grand Final right there, I think. And who am I predicting to go the whole way? Drum roll.
No. I didn't load this. Grind this.
And my winner is New Zealand. So I believe the New Zealand Kiwis will go the whole way in 2022 in the World Cup. I believe they'll win the World Cup for 2022, and I think that it's their year. I think they've always been pretty competitive with the big nations like Australia and England every single year. I'm not sure when the last time they really won it, but I do think this is their year. I do think they're very strong. They're a very strong team. It really does sort of come to me as a very powerful looking team, a very talented looking team. And I do believe they can give this comp a real crack, I reckon. So I believe New Zealand will beat England in the Grand Final for the World Cup, winning 24 points to 16. And if I was picking any time first try scorer and man of the match, I'd say first try scorer Ronaldo Militao if he plays. Man of the match, probably Jerome Hughes. And man of the match, sorry. First try scorer, Ronaldo Militao. Man of the match, Jerome Hughes. And anytime try scorer, probably Sebastian Kris if he's playing. Because after what he did against Leeds, if he plays, then he'll come in. But if he doesn't play, I'm going to go with anytime try scorer, Nickel Cloxton, because I think he'll be there. So that is my Grand Final 2022 prediction, New Zealand to win it. And now finally, just my final prediction for the World Cup. This is my player of the whole tournament. So basically the player of the World Cup, and the best one that stands out to me, that pretty much is probably the best player that did come out of the Rugby League World Cup of 2022. And it's a bit of a bold one because I don't think many people are going to back it, and not many people are going to say that this is the player that they believe will be the best player across the World Cup sort of tournament. So I've gone a bit bold, and I'm going with George Williams. Even though I didn't tip England to win the Grand Final for the World Cup, I still think George Williams will have a big input in the reasoning why the England side gets to the Grand Final in the end. I do think that they will definitely add a lot, and I think just in terms of his form, how he goes, I think he'll add a lot to that England side. So I believe he'll be the player of the whole tournament, George Williams, in my opinion. Very bold, but I think he'll bounce back and do really well for the English side. But everyone, that's my Rugby League World Cup 2022 preview and tips and predictions. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the World Cup. I hope it's a great World Cup ahead. I think, you know, it's great to have it back in the Rugby League sort of community again, because we missed it because of COVID, and that's obviously been pretty bad, but it's back, and I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your Grand Final winner for the World Cup of 2022, and comment your other predictions for each pool as well. So thanks for watching. See you in another one.